Welcome back to another video. Or actually this is series one. So welcome back to the first video of the debunking series. Funny thing is, I actually did record a video after this, and I realized that my volume wasn't on the whole time. So yeah, this is gonna be the first video of the debunking series. So for today, we're actually gonna be debunking someone that you guys might know online. I think you probably have seen him through either his TikTok videos or his Instagram videos, his reels or his TikToks or any of those things, known as the PT online coach. So just to give you guys a bit of clarity before we actually hop into the video, most of these debunking series, before like we actually get in, just want to make it clear, this is actually just to give you guys knowledge on the online gurus and grifters. Like there's a lot of scammers online, there's a lot of online grifters that actually do like look like what they're selling is good, but they just genuinely are able to funnel you guys and able to use psychological maneuvers and use certain things like testimonials and all these certain aspects of online business and these screenshots and these fake screenshots. So this whole series is just based on the fact is to just give you guys more knowledge and actually learn how to actually look at and understand what these coaches or gurus or anyone in the online business space that is trying to sell you a course, a mentorship, or whatever. And before you actually make the decision and go ahead and step on with them, you'll actually be able to understand whether what you're hopping into actually makes sense, right? So yeah, some of you guys may know him as the PT online coach, right? I don't know his name personally, right? But I'm sure you've seen some of his videos on TikTok or Instagram Reels, right? He had this challenge of the day, one of becoming a stoodler, basically going from fit, in a good shape, in a good body, to actually going back to becoming fat. Yeah, that's basically it. So today we're gonna be going over two main things, right? His psychological selling point and his social media content strategy. So these are two things that is very fundamental when it comes to looking at online gurus and creators. So I might be breaking down how he actually gained 30,000 followers in probably 5 months and also probably made over 11,000 Rand in revenue, maybe per month or just in general, right? So the first thing that we can go over is his social media content strategy. So what does he actually do? Number one is value-based content, right? So what value-based content actually is, if you think of your favorite content creator, right, or any content creator in general, and especially if they're in the niche of marketing, fitness, trading, e-commerce, ads, anything like that, anything where it requires you to learn a skill in order to achieve the things that you want to achieve in life, what value based content is what they actually, so whenever they make those videos, how to's, how to X, how to Y, or whatever it is, right? So for example, how I got from X to Y in Z time frame, right? So how I got to 50K, how did I got to 80 kg in 3 months without having to go to the gym once. That's an example that he probably used or something like that. Basically just gives you value based content. So whether it's a TikTok or Instagram reel or YouTube video, the whole purpose of that content is to just provide you with value, something for you to learn, right? And that's the type of content that a lot of people like, because every single day, are they actually providing with value, or are they just here to make you laugh or whatnot, right? And then the second thing is one of the most important fundamentals when it comes to content creation and also monetizing your content simultaneously, is a lead magnet funnel. Now, what a lead magnet is, right? Now, actually think of your favorite content creator, whoever it might be, and whatever niche they're in. So if you think about it, especially if they, let's say they're in e-commerce, right? They're selling a drop shipping course, and they tell you, okay, so I'm releasing 7 free tools, all the 7 tools that I use to make 100,000 Rand, and I'm releasing it for free. There's no point on earth, especially if you watch this guy every single day, that you are not going to go and obtain that free thing because it's free. Why would you not take it if it's free? Right? That's the number one thing you're thinking in your mind. And it's already a creator that you love watching. So whether it's a creator you love watching or don't love watching, or just someone that actually provides value in the content or looks like they provide value, what a lead magnet funnel does is they give you something for free. It's like a free fitness 21-day challenge, 20-day challenge, 14-day challenge, 7 free dropshipping course tools, right? Free Telegram trading community. Those things are super important. What they do is number one, the audience. So this guy, right, this PT online coach guy, that by him releasing a lead, it'll make you incline more to trust him because he's giving you away value that would usually be something that's paid for. Like those 7 free dropshipping tools. That's something that genuinely a lot of people will pay for. They'll pay 1,000 rand, 2,000 rand, 3,000 rand for those tools. And now imagine a content creator going and releasing that thing for free. The first thing you're gonna think is, okay, this guy might actually know what he's talking about. And then the next thing is the storytelling aspect of content. And this is what the PT online coach was able to do really fucking effectively. He was able to tell his story. He was able to kind of put you guys or put his audience on a path with him from the day one to day 120 of becoming a doula. He puts you in the perspective of his ICP. What an ICP is his ideal client profile. That is what an ICP is. So especially if he's in fitness, his ICP, especially with the content that he's creating, is gonna be fat, overweight, dads, moms, 30-year-olds, 35-year-olds, or even 23-year-olds that lost themselves, or even maybe some teens that genuinely just want to lose weight, but either one day they eat like shit, they don't go to the gym, the normal stuff. So what the ICP, what he does so well with the storytelling is he's going on the path that his ICP is already on. The number one thing that you for him to be able to convert such high amounts of leads and actually get to 30,000 followers, 11,000 rand in revenue is because he's able to create this storytelling aspect and go on this path with his audience, basically saying, I'm putting myself in your shoes. So if I'm able to go from 120 days eating like shit, feeling like shit, looking like shit, to then after that, what he's doing now, or I think just what he finished recently, is going into his Gora challenge, which is basically getting fit again, right? What that does is it allows him to say, if I can do it, why can't you? So it allows him to simultaneously take his audience and take himself and put it into a storytelling aspect and create a connection with his audience that nothing else can really effectively do well. So this all leads to his free WhatsApp community plus his landing page. Now keep in mind, all of this is for fucking free. These three things that I mentioned is for free. It's just you watching, obtaining, putting your emails in. But at the end of the day, it's eventually going to lead to his mentorship, right? So now if you go over to his great. Now, if you go over to his landing page, actually, these are the first thing that you'll notice. First thing, obviously, is it's just his logo, his socials, whatever, a normal landing page or website, right? And the first thing that he does super effectively here is the number one thing or the number one problem, especially with South Africans, is trust. Scamming in South Africa is one of the biggest things that you know. Sometimes South Africa, that's what they're mainly known for, right? Is scammers, whether that's in selling shoes or whatever. So, but that doesn't really matter. So what he does effectively here is he uses this first thing that you see is 200 plus transformations. And what he also does well is he actually uses faces. So this could be some woman that is in Afghanistan. This could be some woman that lives in Ghana, and this could be some guy that lives in America. But the fact that he just uses faces will kind of puts it into your mind, basically saying these are the other people, other people like you that I've had, and this could genuinely just be a whole ass lie, right? There's no actual proof that he has 200 plus transformations, but just by putting three faces there and saying 200 plus transformations, that already puts you in a higher percentage of you being more trustworthy to him, right? So the first thing that he does is he kind of takes away that objection of, is this a scam, right? Especially with 30-year-olds and 40-year-olds, this is going to work more effectively because they don't fully understand, or their frontal lobe hasn't been fully developed when it comes to online marketing, and they don't actually understand. So as soon as they see something like this, they feel more inclined to trust, right? And then obviously anti-weight loss community, FAQs, and get started, right? So the next thing we're gonna go and look into is his video sales letter, a VSL. And basically what a VSL is if you think about it, especially when you go on websites, everyone hates reading. Especially when I go on a website, I don't want to read some essay. If I wanted to go read an essay, I'd go look at a blog or an article. So if I want to buy a product, I don't want to read 10 pages of why this product is good or how this product is going to help me. Right? I don't want to read that at all. What a video sales letter is it takes that whole conversion or whole paragraph of why you should actually buy this product and then puts it into a 2 minute to 8 to 10 minute to 15-minute video explaining exactly why you should get this product. So if you go over and look at this video, all right. So you can see for the first 15 seconds of the video, what he does. The first 2 seconds of the video, he has a packet of chips in hand, basically describing his whole point or the whole idea of his content strategy is the fact that you can still eat foods like chips, burgers, onion rings, or whatever, right? Donuts, sweets, and you can still lose weight effectively. That is his main content strategy and his main marketing model is that you can still eat like shit but still look well or still lose weight. So for the first 15 seconds, he kind of creates a sense of, how do I say this? A sense of community, right? Like he said, he has a community, and and he says he's finally been waiting for you, which is pure bullshit, right? But the number one thing that he does effectively here is he puts that main content strategy in the first 15 seconds for the video, and he addresses what he does well is he addresses the actual person. He doesn't say welcome back to another video or welcome to this video and addresses people in terms of they or them. He addresses you specifically who's watching this video. And that's what content creators can do really effectively. It kind of makes it feel like you're on a FaceTime call with them and he's telling you your exact problems. And so what he's gonna do in this video is what a lot of content creators are actually gonna do in this video. They're gonna tell you your exact problem, their solution, and how to actually get started with that solution, right? And he has this name of a lot of content creators do this a lot. So whenever you see anti-weight loss community or whatever it is, there's always gonna be a new name. Like even Iman Gadi had some weird ass name of, I don't know, AI shadow operating model. There's always gonna be some new names. Whenever you hear this name, just know it's an online guru just trying to do something. So the next thing that he does effectively here again is he mentions the fact that he actually has a team behind him. So a lot of content creators will always say team, 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 because that kind of gives the person that's actually watching this video a more direct explanation and a more direct feeling of more trust and makes him look like a more of a professional when you actually say team. Because if I told you in this video I have my whole team planning this out in X, and Y, and Z. It makes me look like a professional. It makes me look like I know what I'm actually doing, right? It could just be him and a videographer. For all we know, that could be his whole team. But the fact that he uses team just makes him look like and sound like more of a professional and actually know what he's doing. So the whole point of this landing page is just how am I going to convert my traffic when they go on this landing page? How am I going to convert them and actually get them into the community or whatever it is? Next thing we can see is he just keeps on packing you and packing you and packing you with testimonials. And obviously, so far, it looks so good. This guy genuinely looks like is a good coach or whatnot, right? I'm not saying that he's a bad coach or a good coach, but so far, everything on this website, most of it looks pretty legit. You can see that from this thing in the video, he does go through his Trainerize app. I've actually watched that before. Trainerize is a really good platform and explains how he actually uses it in the Trainerize, right? And then the next thing that he does well is he keeps unpacking you with testimonials and case studies. But the last thing is he finishes it off with FAQs. And what frequently asked questions are actually made for is to just handle the objections before they actually come. So you know when you're going through a website or landing page, you're gonna ask tons of questions. You're gonna have a lot of questions before you actually hop on. So what a FAQ is actually for is to debunk every single objection you have, so that by the time you buy, you don't feel like you're forced to do it, right? So now if you go over to the get started page, right? If you go over to the get started page, this is gonna be the actual conversion, psychological selling points, and what he actually does, right? This is gonna be his like his content, his like what actually goes on in his content strategy and how he's actually performing in his content and how he's actually psychologically selling you guys with his audience, right? So the whole point of this psychological selling point is when you watch his video, for example, what is he doing in that video in order for you to go from the funnel of watching the video, going onto the website, watching the VSL to then actually paying for the program course or product, right? So this is going to be explaining his psychological selling points as long as kind of how do other content creators do the same thing, right? So when you look at the psychological selling point, the law of reciprocity, right? Basically what that is, right, is if this person helped me, I should be inclined to kind of support them when I can. So let me kind of put this into perspective. If you, for example, you're on the highway, this happens a lot, right? Especially if you're a young person or even an old person, it doesn't really matter. But if you're on the highway, right, and your car just breaks down all of a sudden, you go into the shoulder of the road, right? You're calling, you can't call for help because maybe your phone is dead or whatnot. But you're kind of in a situation of desperation or a situation where you really need help, or just a situation where you just need someone to help you, and maybe someone stops their car, they come to your car, they talk to you, and they help you out, right? They stop for you, go on the highway, right? Go on the shoulder of the road, actually get out the car and actually help you out, call whoever you need to call to come pick up the car or fix your car or whatever it is. If you were to see that person in the same position as you in the next month, you're going to be so inclined to help them because they already helped you. So if this person already helped me, why on earth should I not help them? Right? That's basically what content is when it comes to the lead magnets when they give you value. They don't just, especially all of these content creators or crafters that you see online, even with myself when I release content, we are not releasing content just for the fun of it, just so we can help people. I know that I know that online creators know that and online crafters know that if they give free value, if they do X, Y, and Z, if they address the ICP problem, if they do all these things, when it comes to actually buying their product, people will be more inclined to do it because they've watched so much content of you and you've already giving them something that actually changed their life, especially if it's something that can dramatically change their life. As soon as you can do that, you'll be able to actually scale your business, right? So when it comes to this is especially with fitness coaches, so it's gonna be workout plans, nutrition guides, live Q&As. I'm not sure if you guys have seen Breast Girls. I'm sure some of you guys know exactly what Press does, especially with he has a boot camp in February, and what he's gonna do with that boot camp is probably gonna be a live Q&A or a live whatnot live streaming on how he actually does what he does. And for the last 5 minutes, he's gonna, I promise you, if you're going into that thing, last 5 to 10 minutes, he's definitely going to release some mentorship and whatnot and say there's only 3 spots available or 5 spots available, right? So he goes through a whole 3 day course basically of helping his audience for, even if it's for $400 or whatever the price is, right? Even if you still paid, after those 3 days, you will feel so inclined to give him money because he's already helped you out in your business, right? And the number one thing that people fear is loss and uncertainty, especially in South Africa. And that is a psychological principle that all these content creators understand. That's why when they release free content or they give away free content, right, it acts as a trial before actually purchasing the product. And that's how it works, right? So now you're kind of on an emotionally invested journey with this coach or with this fitness coach. You know them, you've watched them. So when it comes to buying the product, you won't have as much scarcity as you would, right? And this is the drop off funnel content, right? With all the online grifters and gurus online, this is exactly what they do. 1,000 people, let's say, because think of it, especially when you get a viral video and you're selling a product. If 1,000 people, this is not even a viral people, Like getting 1,000 views is not that hard. But 1,000 people see that Instagram post, see that TikTok video, right? 300 people download the lead magnet. 50 people join the 47 Rand challenge. 10 people buy the 997 coaching. And 2 people join the 5,000 mastermind. Obviously, this is not as idealistic or as realistic as you'd see. Like, maybe if it was 100,000 people, then probably at 3,000 people, 2,000 people are gonna buy that free product, right? 300 people are gonna fully download the lead magnet. Out of those 50 people, who's not gonna pay 47 rand, especially if they want to get that dream and they know this content creator can get them there, they will not mind paying 47 rand, right? 10 people will probably buy 997 coaching. And this can obviously scale depending on how good their marketing is and depending on how good their funnel is. So when you look at all of these content creators online, you need to look like, you need to think, especially when they're making these videos and giving you these lead magnets, why on earth are they actually giving me this? Nothing online is out of the kindness, out of their hearts, right? Sometimes, yeah, there is content creators who genuinely do things, but every single thing will come back to when they release something. You've watched so much content, or you've been consumed by so much content that it becomes absolutely ridiculous for you to not fucking buy. But the fucking reality check is there's a difference between what they sell and all you really need. So when I make these videos, I make them for the grifters out there, especially with grifters. Their content can be super flipping good, right? But when it comes to their mentorship or whatever it is, I get tons of DMs and tons of messages saying this content creator scam me, this what not scam me. But when they were watching the content, they felt like he had the best content in the world, because that's true. Some of these online grifters are genuinely good at content, but when it comes to their mentorship that you pay 8K for, all of a sudden they can't message you. All of a sudden there's two course videos about mentality. So when I make any of these videos, it's just to help you guys keep in mind and actually look at the fun of how they're taking your audience. So yeah, this is the first video of the debunking series. If you guys have any content creators that you've been scammed by, any online videos that you've been scammed by, or just want to shoot me a message if you feel unsafe or inclined to actually go and buy a certain product, message me on Instagram. I think it's Maduna, Tati Maduna, right? And yeah, see you in the